Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We have a great show for you today, and if you want to call in and ask some questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857, and we'll be here till about 9 o'clock tonight. And today, a lot of big news came in today. A lot of big news came in just recently here. Mikey Garcia signs with Matchroom. When you hear the details on this, the details are a little bit odd, but I see where they're going with it. I get it. We'll talk to you about it. But Tyson Fury also dumps his trainer, Ben Davidson. And Ben Davidson has been with him since his comeback, basically. Got him in a pretty good shape and all that other good stuff, and finds himself out to pasture. There you go. Beeb, easy come, easy go, huh?
I'm telling you, these fighters, man, you get rid of trainers like they change socks.
That's right, man. But first, let's get started with ESPN. Crawford against Egidijus Kavaliauskas. I think I'm saying that right, Beeb.
Just call him Cav. Call him Cav.
Cav. I think Cav is good, man.
Kavaliauskas.
For the WBO welterweight title, Terence Crawford scored a 9th round KO over Egidijus Kavaliauskas. Kavaliauskas, let me tell you what, he gave Crawford some problems early. Knocked him down in the 2nd round. The ref called it a slip, man. That was a clear knockdown. Very clear knockdown. And I thought Cav was doing pretty well in that fight up till about the 4th round. I mean, you gave Crawford like a round or two in between there. So they were about tied going into the 4th round, maybe, or I think he might have been up 2. I don't know. It just depends on how you looked at it.
It was an even fight.
Yeah.
After 4, I had it even. Most people did.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was he did real well. I mean, I was surprised at how well he was doing. I know we were both kind of texting back and forth, and we were really shocked at like how well he's doing against Crawford.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, until about the 4th round. And that's when it all went south, man. Crawford seemed to have solved that puzzle. He turned up the heat. He became really aggressive and like bullied Kavaliauskas. He bullied him. And Crawford just walked him down. Of course, ended the fight in the 9th round. Crawford landed a combination that dropped Kavaliauskas. He got up, finished him with a left hook. Crawford looked very good. And the thing that got me is he was able to dominate him. I mean, after the 4th round, really put the punches together, really put it to him, basically just figured this guy out. It took him 4 rounds to figure this guy out. And that was pretty much it. And he went forward, and it didn't matter if he was getting hit or not. He went forward, and I get the feeling that he was obviously taking shots, right? But he was going forward because he didn't care what was coming back. What was coming back was not hurting him. It was not a threat to him. And he just kept pressing forward. And basically that pressure just kind of broke Kavaliauskas down, man. He really did. And I think, man, the most impressive part to me was of all the trouble that he found early, that he was still able to stay in the fight, figure this out. I mean, obviously with his corner's help, I'm assuming. Figure all this out and just turn a switch on. And that was it. I mean, he had completely figured it out. And Kavaliauskas didn't really have a plan B for that. And so when you go in to fight a guy like Crawford, man, it's almost like you got to have a plan A, B, and C. I think that was, but to me, I mean, obviously we knew Crawford had power. Obviously we knew he can get rid of people. He could box, he could brawl. He could do whatever you want. But to me, the fact that he figures people out like that, and you're watching him figure these guys out, and, Kavaliauskas, he's a high-level fighter. I don't care what you say. He's a high-level fighter. Anybody in the rankings, man, anybody top 10, they're all world class. And he dismantled this guy. and after having like that much problems with him early on. So yeah, I thought it was a good win. Thought it was a real good win.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple little hiccups. I wouldn't call them really big problems, but he did have some hiccups. But here's the thing, when he does go southpaw, Terence Crawford, offensively, he's really, really effective in that stance. But that's when he tends to be a little bit more vulnerable as opposed to being in the orthodox stance. When he's in the orthodox stance, he's a little bit better defensively. He's harder to hit in that stance. I'm not saying he's easy to hit in the southpaw stance, but that's where you can probably get him. That's your best chance to get him when he's in that southpaw stance. We've seen him in the Gamboa fight when he went southpaw for a little while. Gamboa was starting to touch him a little bit. Even Hank Lundy was touching him when he went to the southpaw stance against Hank Lundy. But he usually does that when he feels as though he can overpower the guy that he's in there with. And when he feels as though he can exchange with the guy that he's in there with and come out on top in the exchanges. And that's when he likes to do that stuff. It's almost like, he's trying that stance just to kind of sharpen himself up to be in that stance a little bit. It's almost like he's practicing, so to speak, trying new things just to kind of improve on little things here and there. And, he feels as though he can do these things when he's in there with somebody he can overpower. He's not going to fight like that against everybody. This guy's shown us that he can win in many different ways, and he's shown us that he's very versatile. And he showed versatility yesterday, and he shows versatility in virtually every fight because he never fights one style in a fight and just stays that way. He's constantly switching things up, and that's what makes him so difficult, okay? So to sit there and think he's going to fight Kavaliauskas, he's going to fight like Errol Spence or Sean Porter like he fought Kavaliauskas, that's not going to happen.
No.
It's just not going to happen. I bet you if he used to fight Sean Porter, I don't even think he'd probably go. I think he'd go in that southpaw stance for like just little small moments in the fight. That he would never go exclusively in the southpaw stance for long periods of time. Just little bits and pieces of it. I think he would flash. Same thing against Errol Spence. I don't even think he would go get in the southpaw stance against Errol Spence. I don't think he would.
No.
It would make sense to do it against Errol Spence. So, all the people that expect a video game or a kung fu movie where a guy just goes in there and
every fight
doesn't get touched, and it's called boxing. You're gonna get hit. So it is what it is. I mean, people love to nitpick. They love to look at little things. If you're on one side or another side, you're gonna sit there and nitpick against a fighter you don't like, and we've seen this time and time again because we know that when they say the other side of the street, it's not just with the boxers, it's with the fans now too.
I don't get it, man. I really
and
don't.
it's
I don't
like
get just riding with a promotion. You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's entertaining and they got good fighters on, I mean,
if you
I don't get it.
Can't watch Terence Crawford and appreciate what he does, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't care if Crawford's in PBC, ABC, CBC. I don't give a fuck who he fights for. You look at the guy, he can fucking fight his ass off. There's no question about it. And here's the scary thing about Terence Crawford. When you're watching him, and then you can say to yourself, well, it looks like he's struggling a little bit, or not even struggling. It looks like this guy is going tit for tat with them. He's hanging in there with them, right? But he still has that look and that way about him, like a predator going after his prey. It's like a lion chasing down an antelope. Even though he was getting hit with those right hands, he had that look and that presence and just that demeanor about him, like he was going in for he was going to take this guy's head off.
He looked like a bully in there.
Yeah, he didn't care.
He really did.
He didn't care, And I think he actually wanted to make that fight entertaining. Did he have to? No. But he still looked great to me. I mean, the way he finished him was phenomenal. He's
getting a lot of hate in the chat, man.
Well,
what is going on?
Once again,
why? Because the guy got hit. I mean, he got hit, you know.
Well, because these guys, these are guys that are on the other side of the street. These are the other side of the street guys. These are the guys. These are the guys that live on Broadway, and Terence Crawford lives on Madison Ave, so they can't kick it with the guys on Madison Avenue. No.
But I tell you what, if Crawford dumped Top Rank and went to PBC, how fast would these guys change their tune?
100%. They used to love him before.
Yeah.
They used to love him before when he was like a junior welterweight, but then when he went into the PBC weight division, which is welterweight, now all of a sudden they hate him. So
yeah,
it is what it is. It's laughable.
It's insane, man.
I look at it and I listen to it and I just laugh at it. So
yeah,
sit there. So Terence Crawford, like I said, he went into predator mode last night, and he was willing to impose his will on this guy. And if he was gonna get touched a little bit, he wasn't concerned about it because he felt as though my firepower was better than his firepower. And if he wants to go punch for punch with me, he's going to lose regardless. So I could box this guy or I can go punch for punch with this guy. And, I'm going to win either way. That was absolutely a knockdown. Yep. Yeah. And what's that? So
yeah,
was that,
I thought so too. And I think that's something we said at the top of the show that was that a knockdown.
Was that a knockout though? Also?
No.
From Terence Crawford? Let
me ask you this. Did Kavaliauskas get knocked down?
Yeah. I mean, did Kavaliauskas get knocked out? I mean.
Yeah, he did.
Was that a knockout?
What?
In the ninth round, was that a knockout? I'll take the knockout over the knockdown any day of the week.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing over that. It was definitely a knockdown. I thought it was. And I mean, the only one who didn't seem to think it was the ref.
So because he got knocked down in that round, is the rest of his performance trash? I mean, again, we want to sit there and we want to take little snapshots in time and sit there. It's almost like politics. It's like when you have a politician trying to trash another politician.
Yeah.
What he'll do is he'll make those negative ads about the other politician. What does he do? He takes those little bits and pieces and he kind of pieces the words together to make the other politician look like he's saying something that he really didn't, kind of like taking little things out of context. So this is what people like to do. They're going to sit there and nitpick. Oh, they got knocked down here. Oh, in the third round, he like kind of slipped a little bit and he didn't look like he had his balance. Like they'll sit there and nitpick at every little thing because they don't like this guy.
Yeah. Young Merv said, I wasn't disappointed in Bud. He just got a little sloppy. That's kind of what happens when you fight top-level competition, though, right? I mean, isn't that what happens? You get hit. Sometimes you got to get up.
What does fighting sloppy mean? Like, was he off balance when he was throwing his punches? Did he look amateurish in there? I mean, he was doing what he was doing to a high level of efficiency, in my opinion. So because he got knocked down in one round, again, does that erase everything that happened in the fight? No.
Deion Johnson said Bud is a pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, and he's getting dropped by a nobody now. Come on now.
So what?
Kavaliauskas, number one, Kavaliauskas is not a nobody. Listen, did I want to see this fight going in? No, obviously I want to see him fight a name guy. Doesn't mean Kavaliauskas was a nobody.
This is like this is the PBC Mayweather era. Like if you have a loss, you're trash. If you get knocked down, you're trash. Like
right.
We have this. The bar is like perfection. Like it's perfection. So when Mayweather got rattled against Shane Mosley and was like inches from getting knocked down, like was his performance trash in that fight? I mean, do we erase the other 10 rounds that he won? It's like
he got exposed against Mosley. He got hit with a right hand.
Yeah. Oh, when he got hit
exposed.
Got hit with that punch in the fourth round against Pacquiao, and he wobbled and kind of did little bits. So do we erase?
Completely exposed him.
Do we erase all the other rounds that he won? I mean, like again, it's a 10-point must system. You score rounds, brother.
Right.
I don't know what you're missing. I don't know what the comprehension level is with these guys that don't understand. It's a 10-point must system. You score rounds. The other guy wins more rounds than the other guy. He wins the fight.
Jason in there trolling. He said that Egidijus is not number one. He's a bum. Says the guy who's never put on a pair of gloves in his life.
Again, we have factions. We have cults.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you hit the nail.
It's a cult. They have there's a PBC is like turning into a cult. These PBC fans are cult members. They're just cult members.
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of a weird thing.
They're cult members.
Yeah, it's just a weird deal, man.
So, I mean, what are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna do anything. That's for sure.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I mean, now let me ask you a question here. All right, so every time Crawford fights, every time Canelo fights, and every time Vasil Lomachenko fights, you get this pound for pound. Who's number one? Who's pound for pound number one? Is it Crawford? Is it Lomachenko? I think that the thing is, man, like, I was thinking about it this week. And even after we see the performance of Crawford had a really good performance. Lomachenko always looks really good. But I can't understand why nobody's saying Canelo in the top pound for pound. Why he's not number one. I always thought that the pound for pound was, if anybody came to your weight class, you would beat him. You know what I mean? Well, not only is he going to, people are coming to his weight class, he's beating them. He's going to other weight classes and beating people. He's capturing multiple titles in multiple divisions. How is this not pound? I mean, how I don't understand, like, how people are overlooking this guy in that pound for pound argument. And they focus on Lomachenko, they focus on Terence Crawford, but they don't really focus on Canelo. He's kind of an afterthought.
Well, I don't understand
that.
I think Ring has Canelo at number one, don't they?
Ring does, but Ring's, Ring's like the National Enquirer.
That's a conflict of interest, yeah.
Well, sure it is. I mean, of course, they're going to have him number one. It's their fighter.
Yeah.
Just like PBC is going to have somebody else number one because it's their fighter.
They should just use a transnational ranking system.
Yeah,
that's the most accurate, in my opinion.
I agree. But, to me, for my money anyway, I think Canelo has got to be the top pound for pound guy. I don't think there's any question.
I mean, you can make an argument. I'm not going to go against that. If someone says that, that's not an incredulous statement. But I'm going to say one thing. Like, you mentioned Kavaliauskas, and you said that he's a legitimate fighter and all that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I honestly don't think, though, he should be a number one mandatory contender. That's my opinion.
Well, let's be honest here. This is the WBO. This is the WBO, and all of these guys. I mean, should Kubrat Pulev be a number one contender? No. Probably not. But, I mean, he's at least a top 5 contender. Kavaliauskas is probably a bottom 10. Or maybe he's probably in the top. He's probably in the top 15. Probably in the top 10. I would say top 10.
Maybe he could be 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But he's not. He should never be anyone's mandatory, and I say that with all due respect. He's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong.
I would agree.
But he is definitely not a mandatory. And again, he won 2 rounds. The fight went 9 rounds. Crawford won 7 of them, and he stopped him in emphatic fashion. So it pretty much did end the way it was supposed to end. It wasn't like, the guy. See, the bar is set so bar is set so low now. This is the thing, and I'm going to be honest. It's just, I have to speak the truth here. The bar was set so low for this guy, so winning 2 rounds now is like an epic thing.
Right.
Now,
we expect Crawford to come in here and murk him in 4 rounds.
This guy's not supposed to land a punch, let alone score a knockdown, let alone win a round. He ticked all the boxes in that regard. He did all those things.
Yeah.
So he overachieved the expectations.
For sure.
But again, he only won 2 rounds. Once again.
And he overachieved.
And he overachieved by winning 2 rounds.
And listen.
So that in itself tells you
this
guy's not a mandatory contender.
Well, and the thing is too, like, we had we had him getting knocked down in the second round, but the bottom line is officially he didn't get knocked down. They didn't call it a knockdown, so whatever. I mean, you can't really call it a knockdown, so it was 2 10-9 rounds. Now,
Jeff Ashton made a very interesting statement in the chat. He said the bar was set at 4 rounds. With all due respect, Jeff Ashton, the over-under for this fight was not 4 rounds. Okay?
What was the over-under? Do you know?
I know it wasn't 4 rounds.
It probably was 8.
Like 6, 8 or it was like 8 or 9. It was like 8 or 9.
It's very rare that you have one set at 6.
He pretty much did what he was supposed to do and what was expected. The two things that weren't expected was this guy actually won 2 rounds, and he scored a knockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But in the grand scheme of things, when you win 7 of 9 rounds and you stop the guy in the ninth round, it's a pretty convincing, dominating victory.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I don't. It's. I mean, again. I mean, through everything else. I mean, it's a pretty dominating victory.
Yeah.
I mean, did
but
what
that's
he was
the thing.
supposed to do.
But that's the thing, though. The bar is set so low. So when a guy wins 2 rounds and he scores a knockdown, then automatically it's like he parted the Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
right? All of a sudden, we got to fight here. You know,
we got to fight here.
Right.
Same thing like with Tyson Fury, Otto Wallen. Like Tyson Fury got cut in his eye. Oh shit!
We got something here. Yeah.
But he won 9 of the 12 rounds. Like
right.
I still don't understand why everyone's like getting in a friggin' a tiff about that fight. Like, oh, Tyson Fury's exposed. It looked like shit. Won 9 out of the 12 rounds, like easily. Playing with the fucking guy. I just don't get it.
Jason saying that Crawford lost 4 rounds. No, he didn't.
Yeah, on your, you don't even score.
On your score.
You don't even. He doesn't. If you ask this guy to pull up a scorecard, he doesn't score fights. This guy doesn't score fights. He just watches fights and listens to what everyone else says, and people that he, if they say positive things about the guy he wants to win, then he just parrots that. I mean, it's ridiculous. You don't even score fights. You don't even know how to score a fight. You probably don't even have a scoring app downloaded on your phone. So just stop.
He uses paper and pencil. He does it old school, Beeb.
He doesn't even do paper and pencil. He just looks at friggin' goes on PBC.com and just looks at their scorecard.
He said
my cloud. Yeah, they're in the cloud. Yeah,
he's a moron. His head's in the clouds.
Your head's in the clouds, kid. You're in a cloud.
Carlos Cabrera said Crawford's defense is supposed to be impeccable, so when someone like Egidijus drops him, of course, everyone is going to be shocked.
No one's defense is impeccable unless you go into the ring with a shield. Then you're gonna get hit. I mean,
everybody can get hit, man.
Muhammad Ali was defense was impeccable. He had the best feet in the business at the time he fought. So what?
I love this. Deion Johnson said he lost. Deion Johnson's been hating on him since we started, but Deion Johnson says he's lost 3, but it still went 9. He was killing him.
99% of the people gave that guy 2 rounds. Right. No one gave that guy 3 rounds.
No, I can't find a round to give him. I mean,
no one gave it. No one. He won the 2nd and the 3rd round, and that was it. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You don't like Crawford because he's not on your side of the street. Ooh.
Nacho, the voice of reason here, says that Crawford gets hurt and now he's a terrible fighter. Yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of the route it goes,
listen,
man.
We're gonna add some new scoring criteria to the sport of boxing. You can't get knocked down in a fight.
No, that's 2 rounds. That would be like a 10-6 round.
Or you're gonna lose the fight. And if you get hit by a guy you're supposed to be better than automatically that guy gets a 6-point advantage. I mean, again, like it's a 10-point mass system. That's it. You win. That's it. You win more rounds than the other guy, you win the fight. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. Jeff Ashton says, is there any truth to Errol Spence? Everybody calls him Earl Spence. It's Errol. Errol Spence hand being mangled. I have not heard that. In fact, the only thing I heard that was mangled up was his teeth. I heard he lost a couple of teeth in the accident, but that was it.
Listen, anyone who says with 100% certainty that they think Sean Porter or Errol Spence would beat Crawford, they're lying. It's any one of those PBC guys that fights Crawford. I think Crawford would have the toughest test against someone like Spence.
Yeah.
But
that's a 50-50 fight now. I mean, that's a pretty good fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I have a hard time seeing Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Manny Pat. I don't think any of those guys beats him. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I've been wrong before. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Crawford's ducking Sean. Let me tell you this. Did you see the video? And Deion Johnson, maybe you have or not. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Did you see the video where Sean Porter's on that PBC, that stupid PBC show they have out? I don't ever watch those shows. And if Top Rank had one too, that it'd be a dumb show too. So he gets out there and Sean Porter says, well, if me and Crawford are going to fight, then it's going to be because we talked it out and we decided that's the route we wanted to go. He said, it's not going to be a PBC thing. It's not going to be a Top Rank thing. He said, they're going to be completely out of it. He said, we'll talk and we'll get the fight going. Come on, man. Come on.
He's trying to take a page out of the Pacquiao Mayweather, but it's so corny.
Yeah, we have to talk and agree. He did say it. Well, we have to talk and agree. Right. You're so corny, dude. I mean, really, like, come on, man. Just, I mean, it's the thing, man. But, like, we just want to see, and Deion Johnson said it here. He said, I want to see the best fight the best. And that's
okay,
it.
But PBC doesn't want you to see the best fight the best. They want to create their own belts. They want their own league.
Right.
They don't want to fight other fighters from other promoter companies. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Georgie's been all over Crawford too, straight up bum hunting. That's the thing, man. I don't, listen. I mean, he sat there and called out every PBC guy last night.
Talk to the PBC guys.
He called every one of them out. And did you see Tim Bradley at the end of the show? I tweeted it out today. If you go to Ringside73 on Twitter, you can see it. I tweeted it out today. It's a video of Tim Bradley at the end of the show saying basically, hey, everybody from the PBC, and he mentioned PBC on there and said, hey, everybody from the PBC, get in line for this guy. This guy wants to fight every one of you. And he basically said, they didn't want to cross the street and this and that. They won't even mention Crawford's name. And that's what he said. He said they won't even mention Crawford's name on the show, which I think is ridiculous.
So what's the plan? Are they going to have Sean Porter, Errol Spence 1, 2, and 3? Are they going to have Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia 1, 2, and 3? Are they going to have Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter 1, 2, and 3? They're going to have Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman 1, 2, and 3. Like, what's the plan? What's the plan to just have like a 3 out of 5 series between every single welterweight in PBC, and we're not going to ever fight this guy Crawford? I mean, what's the plan?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that, like, from what I understood, he was supposed to fight, Errol Spence was supposed to fight Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. In January, until he rolled his Lamborghini over.
Ferrari.
Whatever. Yeah. One of the same thing. Yeah. Some Italian sports car. I don't know.
Same thing.
They both look the same kind of car, So, he rolls this car or whatever, and then he's out for a little bit now. And so Danny Garcia is going to fight Ivan Redkach, and I can't even think of a fight I want to see less.
No. How much significance does that fight have?
What's that?
How much significance does that fight have?
0.
Like, what is that?
0.
Like, what is the purpose of that fight?
I have no idea. And then they're going to look, apparently they're going to look to make the Spence fight in the summer, I guess, with Danny Garcia. Nobody wants to see Spence fight Danny Garcia. Nobody. And I'll tell you what, I changed my tune because I thought Errol Spence beats Terence Crawford. I changed my tune up until that Sean Porter fight because I thought that Sean Porter, he should have had an easier time with Sean Porter than he did. Yeah. Sean Porter worked him over. That's why, for a large part of that fight. I mean, that was a closer fight than it should have been. But I tell you, at that point, I'm like, as that fight's taking place, I'm like, I tell you what, I think Crawford might get him here. I think, Crawford has more tools, and now I'm wondering, that's what makes it real interesting to see Crawford and Porter, to see what happens in that fight. Porter comes right at you. Crawford, I mean, it's a really good fight. That's a really intriguing fight for me anyway. That's a real intriguing fight. Beeb, let me ask you a question. Do you think that fight happens?
Crawford versus
Porter, Sean Porter.
Yes.
I think it happens. I think it
Porter,
happens next.
I think Porter will fight him.
Porter's got nobody lined up. Who's he got lined up?
Porter will fight him.
got nobody lined up. Why not fight him?
I think he'll fight him.
I think he'll fight him.
Yeah.
Right.
That fight will get made.
Look at Centurion hating on me. Says Eric's high on Porter because of the Ohio connection. Let me tell you about Sean Porter. Ohio doesn't claim him.
Doesn't claim him. He's a Vegas
I don't claim
guy.
him.
He's a Vegas guy.
Ohio runs boxing may claim him. Doesn't mean I claim him. We don't claim him here.
He's a
I don't
Vegas
claim
guy.
him. Nope. He's a Vegas guy. That's what he said. Remember when he was in the ring with Danny Garcia? You're in my backyard. He was like, you're from Ohio, son. This ain't your backyard.
He's claiming Vegas.
Go ahead. Nah, we don't want him. I don't claim him. We don't claim him. Burgess Meredith said, Burgess Meredith. Porter's a tough fight for any welterweight. He's right.
Could be. I mean,
yeah, he could be. We're going to find out. I mean, hopefully we find out. I think that's got to be the next fight.
Again, these
that's
are all
the most
great.
logical fight.
I would favor Crawford, but I mean, these are all still great matchups.
Yeah.
They're all great matches.
Yeah, I mean Crawford, Danny Garcia, any one of them.
Jason doesn't want the fight because it's not it's not a PBC fight.
Is that what he said?
He said nope, he doesn't want it. So
it's not a PBC.
So
fight.
I mean, it's just I don't know. It's why would you want to belong to a cult? It's just ridiculous. I'd rather be a free person. Like I'd rather have like free will. I'd rather be able to walk around and make my own decisions.
Watch what I want to watch, man.
Like what I want to like. I don't want to like.
Right.
I don't want to have to pledge loyalty to somebody. Like it's almost like I'm some type of sycophant. I don't want to be a sycophant.
I got to ride with this guy because he rides with my organization.
It's just corny.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just corny.
Jeez, it is nuts, man.
Who should Garcia be fighting rather than Redkach? Why can't he fight Pacquiao? What's wrong with that fight?
Okay, so, and we'll get more into this. Yeah, we'll get more into this.
Why can't Garcia fight Pacquiao?
I don't know. Well, he fought in April, didn't he? Didn't Pacquiao fight in April? He's got his Senate duties and everything, but yeah, he can fight in April.
Why can't he fight Pacquiao? What's wrong with that? Lipinets would be a good fight too. That's a good one, Nacho. I agree.
Centurion Son said Eric Porter did claim Ohio in the post-fight of Spence Garcia with the post-interview.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. You all no. You can't say I'm from here, and then when it's convenient for you, say no, I'm really from here. No.
Can't do
no. No. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Can't do it, man. We're not going to allow him to do that.
I don't allow him to do that. Not in Titletown, baby. Once you leave Titletown, you don't come back. Once you're out, you're out.
He has a Vegas license now and everything. He can't come back to Ohio.
With a Vegas license? No.
His health insurance plans from Vegas.
Yep,
everything.
All of it. Gyms out there in Vegas. Stay out there, son.
Everything.
Get out. Doing all your charity work in Vegas, goodbye.
When he comes to Ohio, no one's waiting for him at the airport.
Look at LeBron James. LeBron James is a perfect example. All right, LeBron James, perfect example. Comes over here, wins a title here, leaves, builds a school here. He builds a school here in Ohio. All right. I mean, listen, the guy's in LA. He's building schools here. That's an example. That's an example. Sean Porter, what's he doing?
What's he doing for Ohio? Nothing.
Doing nothing.
He has relatives in Ohio. He doesn't even send them Christmas cards, I heard.
That's what I heard, too.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is.
I'm not liking it.
I tell you, Christmas, it hurts my heart. He doesn't send us, just saying. Hey, we have Christmas here in Titletown, too.
Nothing.
No.
It's pretty sad.
Doesn't even come back. It's messed up. All right, let's talk about the co-main here. Richard Comey versus Teofimo Lopez for the IBF lightweight title. Teofimo Lopez iced Richard Comey in the second round, man. This was spectacular. To become the new IBF lightweight champ. What does he got, 15 fights now? It's insane.
Yep. 15 fights.
I'll tell you what, man, Comey surprised me. He really did. Cause I thought it would be where he would stick in there, Yeah, I thought Comey would stick it in there. Ultimately, Lopez would get him, and I thought Lopez would look really, really good in this fight. I just did, because, the alternate is if he didn't look good, then you really got to start questioning this guy, because he didn't look great in his last outing. I know he had a lot of family problems and everything like that, but look, man, you got to fight through it. It is what it is. And listen, he won the decision in his last fight real easy, but he didn't look like Lopez. He didn't look like his old self, man. Yeah, well, he pretty much erased that here. Comey, I thought, did pretty well in the first round. Used a very good jab. And it looked like Lopez was guessing, man. He just kind of kept him guessing with that jab. He kind of looked confused at the end of that first round. Like, he didn't know what to do. That jab was really giving him problems, I thought, in the first round. Gave Comey the round. It went downhill pretty quick, man. In the second round, Lopez started to open up a little bit more. Comey went to throw a shot and got hit with a counter right hand. He didn't even see it coming. He just crumpled. You saw him like boom, and he just went to the side. And you could see he was dizzy from that shot. He got back up. You could tell he didn't see it coming, because he was wobbling all over the place, man. He got up, caught with a flurry again, and then that's pretty much where the fight ended, man, with a flurry from Teofimo, man. After the fight, it sets up a fight with Vasil Lomachenko, I believe, in April. Man, is that a good fight. That's a very, very tough fight.
Now,
wow.
You got to favor Lomachenko, obviously, in that fight.
Yeah.
But not as much as you were going to favor him before you saw this. The odds definitely kind of narrowed a little bit after seeing this. And here's the scary thing about what Lopez did. When he shifted his body, kind of threw that body feint to try to sell a jab, or actually sell the jab with a hook, put all his weight, on his left foot and dipped his shoulder down. Basically, he had all his weight going that way.
Yeah.
And then he was still able, despite all of that, to contort his body so he could get that right hand off in that small little space that he had to do it. You see that little space he had to thread the needle to get that right hand in? Plus, being insane. Basically, it looked as though he was out of position to throw the right hand. So for him to even be able to throw the right hand in that position, just to throw it itself, and then on top of that, being able to generate power by doing that and just throwing it so short with such a small amount of space and distance to travel, for him to be able to do that is kind of a freaky thing. You have to be gifted to do something like that. Lean your body weight. It's almost like you have to be like the Matrix to do something like that. So he's like boom, 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 like all in one motion, like the feint, boom, and still be able to generate power and still be able to land perfectly the shot. So that's something that's scary. If this guy is able to, kind of throw those punches from unorthodox angles, throw those feints, and put himself in a position where you think he can't do what's happening right before your eyes, then that's scary. Like how did he throw that right hand? How did he get it off? By being like, he was like totally out of position he was not in position to throw that right hand. No. So when you're training for a normal fighter, you're not preparing for that. No. There's nothing in the gym that's going to show you how to get away from that. Nothing.
And vice versa. There's no way. You're not training that either. That's just instinct. That's something that happens.
Yeah. And because if you do try to make a move to stop that, then you're opening yourself up for the left hook. So you did, and he's already there. He's already positioned to throw the left hook. So if you think, if you try to expect the right hand to come in that position, which you're normally not going to do, but just say you did and you tried to parry it, then you'd open yourself up to the left hook.
Yeah.
So you'd be screwed that way too. So it's just scary that he was able to set that. The way he set that punch up was just.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
Georgie Porgy says, will Bob allow Teo versus Loma? Bob put a lot of time and effort into build Loma. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they said anyway.
So
They said the fight's going to happen in April.
That was the plan, Georgie, before. The winner of this fight was going to get Loma. I mean, that was the plan.
Yeah.
And Tio is bigger than Loma. Like, he's bigger and stronger than Loma too. So.
Yeah, I mean, and you could argue he might be faster. I don't know. You could argue.
More explosive, I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure. But that's an intriguing fight, man. That's one of those fights you're just like, wow, man.
I love when Bob went over to him at the end of the fight and started yelling at him, "No more backflips." Imagine if he fucking slips and falls on his head. You think the fight with Lomachenko's down the drain. No more backflips.
Well, Bob does Pulev too, doesn't he? He's got Pulev in the stable too, Top Rank.
Yeah.
He was talking about the AJ and Pulev fight because he's mandatory and they're going to fight him next.
Yeah.
And he says, he's not going to come in fat like Andy. He's going to be in shape. Talking about Pulev. I'm like, wow.
Oh, he's funny, man.
Yeah, Bob really raked Ruiz over the coals after that fight, man. I mean, that was bad.
Then they asked Bob. They go like this to Bob. They said, "Bob, can Andy come back and get in shape?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure. He'll do it for two or three fights, and then it'll be a fat slob again. Because we've already been down that road. There'll be fights where he'll come in at 250, for 2 or 3 fights in a row, and then after that it'll be 290 again. So it's like we've already been there and done that with Andy.
You know what? I mean, he knows. I mean, he knows him. I mean, listen, man. I mean, you hate to say it, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of the pattern, right?
Burgess Matthews asked me, "Who do you see winning in Loma versus Lopez?"
God, man.
I actually think, honestly, Lopez has a great chance in that fight. I may be inclined to lean towards Lopez in that fight, really.
I think you have to experience-wise. Just because of Loma's large background, amateur background.
I don't know how
you look at his resume too and who he's fought. He's fought the best of the best.
Yeah.
I think you have to lean toward Loma here, but man, Lopez is a live dog.
Lopez is like Wilder to some degree, where he can land that one shot and the fight just changes. And I've seen Loma hurt against what the hell's his name there? The Mexican guy that he fought. The hell's his name? Who's the lightweight guy that he fought? The guy that fought Campbell before and he lost. Linares. I can't believe
Linares. Yeah.
I've seen Linares drop Loma and hurt Loma. I seen Luke Campbell have some good moments against Loma. The question is, if Teofimo has some good moments against Loma, will those good moments turn into great moments because of the power and explosiveness?
Well, and when Loma's dialed in, is he tough to beat. Yeah. I mean, he's the best in the world.
He would be favored in the fight, but I could see the fight being like 2-1 come fight time.
Oh, for sure.
I could see the odds. I could see the odds narrowing though.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, for sure.
Centurions.
That's a close fight. That's one of those fights that's like, we can call it out from out here now, but we won't even really know. I mean, until April comes around.
Linares is Venezuelan. For some reason, I thought he was Mexican. My fault.
What's that?
Linares is from Venezuela.
Oh, I see.
For some reason, I thought he was from Mexico. Thank you, Centurion son. That's correct.
And Carlos Cabrera says definitely close odds on that fight. Yeah, for sure.
That's going to be a very bettable fight.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame whoever you bet on in that fight. You know what I mean? So I mean, it looks like, I don't know if he's got his family issues iced down, but he was definitely a different fighter last night than he was his last fight.
Seemed like he actually fed off of that energy a little bit.
Yeah. Is he? And I didn't really get it. Is he still having those issues and stuff like that with his parents and his mom or whatever, his sisters?
Maybe.
I heard they were just completely out of his life in that last fight. They just that's crazy, man.
It's pretty sad when you don't get your mother behind you.
Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
That's not a good feeling.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough way to go, man. All right, let's talk about Michael Conlan versus Vladimir Nikitin. Michael Conlan wins a unanimous decision over Vladimir Nikitin by the scores of 98-92, 99-91, and 100-90. This was a really good win for Conlan, man, who lost the Rio Olympics. Remember the bird flip in the Olympics, and that was after this fight. Nikitin was, 2-0, I think, against Conlan in the amateurs.
Yeah.
So he looked pretty good last night. I mean, he won just about every round. And I mean, he outboxed this guy, outpunched this guy, outslugged this guy. I mean, did really good, man.
Yeah.
Centurion Sun said Tiafimo is bringing back the George Lopez show, a.k.a. Eric's twin. But going back to Conlan here for a minute, Beeb, what are your thoughts on him going forward here?
I gotta be honest.
You're not impressed with Conlan, no?
I'm not part of the Conlan bandwagon. I'm not on the Conlan train, and I'll tell you why. I think that a guy that can apply pressure, a guy that's a really good inside fighter, a guy that is physically strong will give him fits. There's nothing that when I watch Conlan, when I use the eye test on Conlan, nothing jumps out at me. Now that's not to say he's not a good fighter, but he's not exceptionally explosive. He's got good speed, but he's not like a flash. I like how he goes to the body, but his defense is suspect. I think he's a good fighter. I don't think that he'll be a dominating force in that division. Like Josh Warrington, there's nothing that I see from Conlan that has me ever even believe for the slightest bit that he could be a guy like Josh Warrington.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Josh Warrington would walk through him. I really
don't know.
I don't think that fight's competitive. No way.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think I think that he could win a bout, maybe, but I don't think he'll hold on to it. I don't think he'll be like a dominating champion at 126. I just don't see any standout features. I mean, he's a good body puncher. He's an okay. He has good offense on the inside, but he has a hard time defending on the inside.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know how to step around shots. Doesn't know how to position his body. Keeps his head straight up in there. He's right in center line. He doesn't lean off to the side and dip down. And I just don't like and then when he punches, it seems like he's not really trying to punch through the target.
Right.
He's like a pity pat guy, like Shakur Stevenson starting to sit down on shots, trying to really put his body. I see the transition from Shakur Stevenson. I'm seeing Shakur Stevenson progress.
Yeah.
Conlan, I don't know. I just don't.
How many fights does Conlan have now? 12?
12 or 13 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he might be a 20 guy. He might be one of those 20 guys where you have to go 20 to 20 fights. You got to go to 20 fights to think about,
But I'm not so sure he becomes a champion at 126. He may get maybe, I don't know. Like he could pick up a vacant belt or something.
I was gonna say, well, he's looking for a title shot this year.
Yeah,
that's what he said. So
I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready.
Outlaw says he's Conlan's already 26 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think he's going to get that much better. I just don't. I mean,
it's tough. It's tough when you're young like that. Once you reach the pro level, if you've had a big amateur career, once you reach that pro level,
yeah,
it's tough to learn new things.
I just don't see anything special about the guy. I just don't see anything special about the guy.
Oh man,
that's not to say he's not a very good fighter. I think Shakur Stevenson has a much better upside than this kid does.
Yeah, I like Shakur. I like Shakur a lot.
I think
he's the guy. I've always thought he was the guy.
He's got some talent. Like he's fast. He has really good reflexes, and you could see that he's ahead of the curve a little bit. Like when he's in there, he could see things coming before they he's really good. Like he reminds me of Andre Ward in the regard that he can process things quick. Like he sees things happen and he can kind of diffuse what's happening like before it actually happens.
He's a little too defensive for me though. He's a little too defensive for me.
But
though.
I've seen him take it to guys when he had to. So I was a little concerned with that. But these last couple fights, like I said, he's been sitting down on shots.
Yeah.
He's been, when he gets in there, he'll get in there and stay there for a little longer than he normally does. And he'll lay some leather in there. He'll lay some hard leather. He'll bend his knees and kind of sit down. Where now, before he was getting in and rushing out. Now he's kind of staying a little bit longer and sitting down and boom, 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 and then he's getting out. He's not like playing tag in there. He's not like you're it and getting and running out. Now he's actually staying there a little bit and he's letting the shots flow. Yeah. This Conlon kid, he just doesn't look smooth. It looks like, I don't know. It just doesn't look like it's like it comes easy to him. In other words, like sometimes you just look at a guy and you can just say this guy's a natural. Like Conlon just I like the kid. He's a great personality, hard worker, phenomenal shape. But some of these guys they're just special. I just don't think he has that special talent like at this level.
Yeah.
At this level.
Low Blow Champ says Shakur's got the best mentoring him too. Yeah, he's got Bud Crawford and Andre Ward, I believe. And they're both mentoring him and stuff like that. So yeah, he's got a lot of he's got every chance, put it this way. He's got every chance to succeed at the pro level. You know what I mean? They've given him so if he does not, then he can only blame himself, man, because they've been giving him every chance.
He's already a world champion. What do you want?
Yeah. What else is there? Let's see here. All right, on DAZN, Virgil Ortiz versus Brad Solomon. Ortiz knocks out Brad Solomon in a technical knockout in the 5th round. A lot of people love Ortiz after this performance. They liked him before. They like him even more now. Beeb, what were your thoughts on this fight? Because I know you were really impressed.
Well, he was in there with the guy that was 28-1. Solomon obviously is not an elite fighter, but he's a solid fighter.
Yeah.
And Virgil Ortiz, treated Solomon like he was a journeyman, with all due respect, which he's not. I don't think he is. And here's the thing about, talk about scary things. Here's a scary thing about Virgil Ortiz. This is a guy that's like poker faced the whole fight. Like, he has his hands up high. He's a really, like, when you look at how boxing is supposed to be done, this guy is the perfect image of how boxing is supposed to be. He does everything the way it's supposed to be done. But here's the thing, like, he keeps his hands up so high, and like everything he does is like so tight, compact, and precise. Like, he just does everything like he throws a right hand, it's like shoom, like real short, crisp, straight as an arrow, like
very technical.
Like there's no flaring of elbows, there's no wildness. Like, this guy, the whole fight just fights like he's hitting a heavy bag. You know what I mean? Like, just relax and boom, 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 like he's doing pads. And, when he blocks a shot, like, he just comes right, like, he'll block, boom. He's like, the way he transitions from defense to offense, this guy is just so perfectly precise, fluid, and just the way he just puts shots together. He's like, boom, boom, like it's a beauty to watch this kid fight. Like when you look at this kid fight, this is a really good fighter. This guy has a lot of talent. He has a lot of talent, and he can punch too. And he's not like Russian. He sets things up, and he's so perfect and precise in the way he sets things up. Like Teddy Atlas likes to use the word delivery system. Well, this guy's got a beautiful delivery system, because again, it's hard to prepare yourself for these punches, because even the hook, like, everything is so, like, the elbow's never, like, it's like you're shooting everything from the elbow and the hip. It's like boom, like it's just very subtle movement, and it's effortless the way he just throws these punches, because he's not like, there's no wasted motion here. There's no wasted energy, no wasted motion. And this is why I think this guy's going to be dangerous, because it's just going to be so hard to time this guy's punches, because I guarantee you, he's throwing the right hand and someone else is throwing the right hand, because he throws it so tight, compact, and perfectly, the other guy's probably going to have a little bit of a hitch, a little bit of a torque, whatever. He's going to beat a lot of guys to the punch in exchanges because of how technical he is and how perfect he is. So that's why this guy's going to be something special, really.
Yeah. And now let me ask you this. So how close is he to going to the big time at 147? I mean,
I would like to see him maybe in a year and a half, maybe consider going for a title fight, because
wow.
Yeah. Because he's only, what's he only have, like, he only has like 12 or 13 fights too, right?
Yeah, and my guess is that they will bring him along.
They're not going to rush him either.
And he's a Golden Boy guy. And the one thing that Golden Boy does, they bring their guys along very well. I think.
They don't rush their guys. So
no,
I would like to see him probably towards the end of 2021 start looking at title shots.
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's only going to get better. You got to think. I mean, he's only going to get better, and as you bring up his competition and everything like that, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. 15. Reese Mack said it best. 15-0-15. You don't get better than that, man. You don't get better than that. That's a tough one. All right, and then the other fight that took place this week on Facebook Watch, the redheaded stepchild of the De La Hoya family, Diego De La Hoya, versus Renson Robles, 10 rounds featherweights. De La Hoya wins a unanimous decision over Robles by the scores of 97-94, 99-89, and 99-89. Beeb, De La Hoya, they were really he was a promising prospect. Then he weighed in like 22 pounds overweight for the one fight. You remember that? And then he lost. And then, you got to wonder, man, that guy had a lot of promise, man. But how many times do we see this? I mean, realistically, how many times do we see guys coming up with a lot of promise, and you got to wonder, like, do they read their own press clippings? I mean, what happens?
Yeah.
And this is a guy who's got, what is he, De La Hoya's nephew or something like that. De La Hoya always treats him, he never puts him on his big cards, right? He's always on, like nonsense cards.
Yeah.
I remember when he was on a pay-per-view, they didn't even show him, it was like, come on.
Yeah.
But, Carlos Cabrera says that Diego De La Hoya is a wasted talent, not consistent. That could be too. I mean, you kind of wonder, like, you see these guys come up and, man, they look really, really solid. And then all of a sudden they just fall off. I don't know. I don't get it, man. But Diego De La Hoya reminds me of one of those guys. He just does.
Yeah.
All right. UFC 245 last night. For anybody interested, Kamaru Usman defeated Colby Covington by TKO in the 5th round. Covington said he suffered a broken jaw, and there's been conflicting reports here. I heard it was broken. Beeb said he read that it was not broken. Either way, his jaw was jacked up. That's what I know. Both guys, listen, man, both guys, they went at it. I had it 3-1 for Covington going in the 5th. The judges had it 3-1 Covington, 3-1 Usman, and 2 up going into the 5th round. So Kamaru Usman with a big knockout in the 5th round, and they stopped the fight. Colby said the fight was stopped early. I don't think the fight was stopped early. I thought it was a pretty good stoppage. On the undercard, Amanda Nunes won her fight by unanimous decision. And then Clarissa Shields was in the building. They made note of that. Amanda Nunes says she has absolutely no plans to go in and box Clarissa Shields. She said if she wants to come in the octagon, she's more than welcome and she'll fight her, but she's not going to box her.
Jesus.
Yeah, right? Shields, son. Go let that marinate for a little bit.
Stay away from friggin' Nunes, please.
No.
There's just a line you don't cross. There's a level you don't try to go to.
Nunes is a murderer, man. She'll kill Clarissa in the cage.
She's dangerous.
Yeah. If she could take you down, she showed it last night. That girl, Jermaine Durandamy, that girl that she fought is like a multiple time, like, Muay Thai champion.
Amanda Nunes.
She's got better hands than Nunes, and Nunes just crushed her every round.
Amanda Nunes is probably the most dangerous female I've ever seen in my life.
She's the best female fighter I've ever seen in my life.
She is a destructive force in fighting.
Mean.
She's just a dangerous individual. You want to talk about, this is going to sound crazy, you want to talk about a woman that could possibly beat up some men fighters. I'm not saying she could beat like the top level guys, but I'm sure there's some lower level men that she would probably be able to beat up. That's how tough she is.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I'm just saying that. I mean, people can start making fun of me all they want. I mean, I mean, imagine being her boyfriend, and I know you can't because of whatever, but she has a girlfriend. But I say that I just say that with respect. Imagine being her boyfriend and getting in a fight with her, like argument. She could just like beat the piss out of you at any time.
Well, it's funny because her wife fights in the UFC as well.
Oh, she does. Okay.
I mean, so could you imagine the arguments there? My God, the neighbors are entertained, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man.
Her girlfriend's really pretty too. She's pretty, that girl.
Yeah, she is, man.
What's her name?
I don't remember her name, man, but I tell you what, you sent me that picture of Kubrat Pulev.
Oh, wow. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man.
And he's kissing Jenny Sushi after having a girlfriend like that?
What in the world are you thinking about, dude?
You're eating filet mignon and you want to eat and then you're trying to downgrade the hamburger? Come on, what's going on there, Kubrat? What are you doing?
Sushi, on Jenny Sushi, too. Like, dude, I mean, like, yeah, come on. Yeah, that's it was pretty crazy, man. All right, let's see here. Let's go to the upcoming fights. See what we got. December 16th, I believe that's a Tuesday. Yeah, Monday, tomorrow, on ESPN Plus, from Kazakhstan. This has got to be like the Gennady, like the Triple G thing or whatever. He's got his own promotion. Yeah. Victor Kadachigov versus Javier Jose Clavero, 10 rounds, lightweights, whatever. This is interesting, man. Okay, so Wednesday in Brisbane, Australia, Michael Zarafa and Jeff Horn are going to rematch, 12 rounds, middleweights.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
Why does Jeff Horn want to fight this guy again?
I don't know. He got cleaned out the first time, so I don't know.
I don't
Better go back to teaching, son.
This ain't going to be a happy ending for him, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Is that on? What is that on?
It's not on. I don't see a TV. I don't see a TV thing for it.
I wonder if he could stream that somewhere. I'd be interested.
I don't think that's legal, Beeb.
Sorry. It's all right. I'll go to confession.
Don't worry about it. The FBI's tied up in that whole impeachment thing. They ain't gonna know. You know what I'm saying? All right, and what is December 19th? What is that? Friday, maybe? I don't know. This is where I miss Robert when he always called out the dates and everying like that.
That's Thursday. That's Thursday.
There we go. Thursday in London on DAZN, Richard Riakporhe versus Jack Massey, 12 rounds for the vacant British cruiserweight title. Fabio Wardley versus Simon Valili, 10. Who cares? Why? Come on. They're putting this on DAZN? Who cares? You interested in that?
Probably not. I mean, it's not something I'm going to cancel plans for. But it's on the app. I can always go.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you how interesting. If there was nothing else on TV but that, I'm probably still not watching it.
Well, there is, but you have to understand. With me, sometimes I have a hard time sleeping, so that's when.
So you turn the fight on.
So I'll just turn
that fight on.
I'll just turn that on. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
I have bouts of insomnia every now and then.
Oh man, this is a terrible card. Kieran Conway versus the dreaded TBA. All of them are TBAs. I mean, did like Hopi Prices? Come on, man. Come on, son.
It's like pick a name out of a hat.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. Come on, man.
Crazy.
Come on, don't be silly. December 20th, Beeb on DAZN. This may be quintessentially the fight, I dare say, of the decade. Because, as we're getting ready to turn this new decade and everything like that, did I say decade? decade. As we're getting ready to turn this new decade, Beeb, you're looking at me strange, man, but I'm telling you what.
I know.
We could possibly be looking at the fight of the decade here.
I'm getting ready. May have to don the sombrero. I may have to don the sombrero again too.
Might have to. We might have to.
Might have to don the sombrero for that fight too.
Man, I tell you what. Now, if he loses, it's been a bad month for Mexicans, man. It's been a bad month. All our hopes and dreams are pinned on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's just jacked. I mean, you ain't winning that fight.
How did he get that?
Let me tell you what. How does it boil down to pinning your hopes and dreams on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? You know you're in some bad shape then.
Who's training Jacobs now? I heard he's having problems with Rozier.
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that from? I didn't hear that.
I guess they were saying there's some money problems. I read it somewhere. Actually.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Money's the root of all evil, Beeb.
They did an interview with Rozier and he was pissed off. I guess he didn't get paid or they were arguing over money or some shit. The Canelo fight, I guess. Yeah, I'll have to find it for you. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So Danny Jacobs on December 20th in Phoenix on DAZN. Danny Jacobs versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. 12 rounds, super middleweights. Not sure why that's 12 rounds or what exactly they're fighting for over there, but hey, whatever.
It's super middleweight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No title on the line. Just maybe it's a eliminator, maybe.
Maybe they can fight for a PBC belt.
They're gonna fight for the Ringside Reporter belt. You know what I mean? Title fight: Julio Cesar on the co-main here. Julio Cesar Martinez versus Christopher Rosales. 12 rounds for the vacant WBC flyweight title. Maurice Hooker on the undercard against the dreaded TBA. Now, here's the caveat here: Gabriel Rosado is set to fight Wande Angel. 10 rounds, super middleweights, unless Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. does something stupid, which is completely plausible. Unless Chavez Jr. comes in, I don't know, 50 pounds overweight, fails a drug test.
He ain't making weight.
Whatever.
He ain't making weight.
Then the main event will be Danny Jacobs versus Gabriel Rosado.
Jesus Christ.
How do you, as a promoter, put this guy like to a contract?
He's already
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, for real. How do you put this guy on a contract, bro?
He's already getting murdered from the press for trying to put this fight together. He's like already being.
Wasn't he? I read he was trying to sue Las Vegas or something like that, or somebody. I don't know. He's a moron.
I don't know what he's trying to do.
I don't know. I'd rather see Omar Chavez in there. At least he'll give an effort. You know. So yeah. So most likely on DAZN December 20th, it's going to be Daniel Jacobs versus Gabriel Rosado. And I guess they're doing. I guess they're doing some kind of testing. I guess. I don't know. Josh Kelly versus Winston Campos, 10 rounds welterweights. Liam Smith versus Jesus Antonio Gutierrez, 8 to 10 rounds middleweights. Not a bad card, but you know, it's about average. You know, it's not bad.
It's not disgusting.
No, I would watch it. I will watch it.
I'll probably watch it. What else?
I'll watch it. Right. We're degenerates, Beeb. This is what our life is. This is what our life has come to now.
Man, I could be out and about doing food shopping and pull out the phone and start watching fights while I'm freaking shopping for food.
Can't beat it.
How do you beat that?
I can't. December 21st, which I believe is Sunday then. If that's Saturday, there's got to be Sunday. That's how it usually goes. Daniel Dubois on ESPN Plus from London. Daniel Dubois versus Kyotaro Fujimoto, 10 rounds heavyweights. Sonny Edwards on the undercard versus Marcel Braithwaite, 12 rounds for the vacant British junior bantamweight title, Liam Williams versus Alantez Fox, WBO junior middleweight eliminator. Archie Shop versus, it doesn't matter. Tommy Fury on the undercard there as well. 6 rounds light heavyweights. And yeah, that's about all the names I recognize on there. The big one, Beeb. The big one, December 21st, Ontario, California. Let me tell you what, man, I can't wait for this fight. I really can't wait. So this would be, let me check my calendar here. because I got my date screwed up. Yeah, the 21st is Saturday. So Friday, Chavez is fighting. So the 21st is Saturday. All right. Ontario, California. This is the one, man, I really, really want to see. Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo. The rematch, 12 rounds for Harrison's WBC junior middleweight title. Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Liborio Solis, 12 rounds for the vacant WBA regular bantamweight title. F.A. Ajagba, really want to see him again, versus Iago Kaladze, 10 rounds heavyweights. Andre Durrell on the undercard versus Juan Ubaldo Cabrera, 10 rounds super middleweights. Hugo Centeno Jr. Versus Juan Macias Montiel, 10 rounds middleweights. And that looks like it's about it on there. See if there's any other fights. Yeah, that's about it. And then we'll go to the week after Davis fights Gervonta Davis. Let's talk about this Tony Harrison fight real quick. This Tony Harrison Jermell Charlo fight. You had Harrison win in the last fight.
I did. There
has been some real animosity in this whole thing. That press conference was television gold. I tell you what, I've watched that thing about 1 million times. You know what? Once this fight's over, I'll probably watch it again. It was as entertaining a press conference as you are likely to see. You scored the fight last time. Didn't you score the fight for Harrison last time? I believe I had it for Charlo.
I had it 115, 113 for Harrison, yeah.
And I think I might have had a 116, 112 for Charlo. I'm not 100% sure.
I think you did.
But let's talk about this for a minute, man. Do you see Harrison beating Charlo again?
I think he can, but it's going to be tougher this time. But I think he can. I'm going to pick him.
Yeah.
Because I think Charlo's kind of rattled, and I think this is just a bad style matchup for Charlo.
Yeah, it may be. I think Charlo's going to get him. I don't know if he knocks him out. I don't think he knocks him out. Harrison's very, very slick. Yeah. He's a very slick fighter, man. But I do think Jermell will win this fight.
I like Harrison's counterpunching over Charlo, because Charlo, he's been like loading up and kind of really overextended himself in his.
He's in love with his power.
Yeah,
he's in love with his power.
He's been getting a little overzealous in his last couple fights, and I like his brother. His brother fights so much more patient. Like, it was so funny because his brother was supposed to be the knockout guy, and he was supposed to be the boxer, but I don't know what happened somewhere along the way. Jermell is just being a little bit too over anxious in there, loading up with shots, kind of not really using his jab as much as he used to. He's leading with left hooks now. It's like, I don't know. I just don't like the style. I think Harrison's going to be able to counter him a lot. I think he's always going to have those opportunities to land counter shots against Charlo, because Charlo's going to take the lead. Because again, if he doesn't take the lead, then it kind of favors Harrison to have to kind of just lay back and not have to fight a fast-paced fight. So in order for Charlo to win, he's got to have to kind of overpower and overwhelm Harrison and blanket him with pressure, and not allow him to get set, and not allow him to get his timing down. So he's going to have to kind of do all those things to throw Harrison off. And in the midst of trying to do those things, I think Harrison's going to lay back and time him and land some good counter shots and win a decision that way, like he did the first time, which I thought he did.
Yeah.
So,
and Carlos Cabrera said to Harrison's in his head, and I tell you what, I wouldn't put it past him. I mean,
yeah. So he's gonna.
Really, you could tell in that press conference. I mean, if you guys have not seen that press conference, go download it, go YouTube it, and watch it. It is the most entertaining thing you will watch. It's amazingly funny, man. Harrison's a really funny guy. Call him the ultimate hoe. Dude, who says that? I mean, like, really, like, who says that? I mean, if you
that was fucking hilarious.
If you like sophomoric humor, man, that is right up your alley.
Oh,
it's awesome.
He was
the best ever.
He was killing
Charlo.
He was killing Charlo.
He said that what did he say? He was like, I don't know how one brother could be stand up and the other could be a hoe. I don't understand. It's like if your twin brother.
I really do like Jamal a lot. I'm not crazy about Jermell. Jermell's like.
They always seem so angry At least he's so angry all the time.
Mad. He's like mad. He like probably wakes up in the morning. And goes to the kitchen. Where's my fucking Fruity Pebbles? Like he's fucking mad at, like he's probably mad the minute he went, like, dude, you're making money, you're doing great. Like he's just fucking mad about everything.
Right.
I don't get it.
Funny, man. Centurion, I saw your post. We'll talk about it later. I promise you. He's in the news. In fact, he's coming up here soon. So yeah, man. So that should be good. So a solid weekend of fights, man. Really solid weekend of fights.
Yeah, they were good fights.
Yeah, we got some good fights coming up. So and you know what? It's always tough, like the holiday weeks, like the Christmas weeks and everything like that. But this is good, man. And then after next week, we got Gervonta Davis. He's fighting on the 28th. So yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
It's been a really good year.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's go to the phones real quick. 805. I believe it's Nacho. Maybe not. 805. You're live.
That's Nacho.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, what's happening, Nacho?
What's happening, Nacho?
Nothing much. Hey, nothing much.
Heard you put 10 grand on Teofimo. I heard you put 10 grand on Teofimo.
That's what I heard too. That's what I heard.
Honestly, Beeb, I honestly thought Comey was going to put up a better fight, but
I actually picked
everybody
Comey.
did.
A lot of credit.
I actually picked Comey.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect Comey to get knocked out in 2 rounds. So you got to give him a lot of credit for coming in there and blowing him out when some of these other guys that Comey fought couldn't do that to him.
That was a complete blowout.
I mean, he looked good, and he looked good, and he's back out there being like the quote unquote star that everyone says he was before he struggled with Nakatami or whatever that guy's name was that he fought in July.
That guy, you know what? That guy was a bad style matchup for him, though. A lot of people didn't, it was a bad style matchup for him. And I had watched some tape of that guy going in, and I didn't think he was going to beat him, but I thought he could give him some problems, and he did. Style-wise, he gave him some big problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's a huge lightweight, and he's awkward as hell. But
yeah.
In this day and age, when everybody basically assumes that if you're not knocking somebody out or knocking people down in every fight, they automatically say you got exposed or you're a bum. So, you can't win sometimes with these fans on social media. So,
right.
It is what it is. But now that he got the knockout, now everybody's trying to get back on the bandwagon.
Everybody's back.
So it'll be interesting. Yeah, everybody's back on the bandwagon now that he got the knockout. I can't wait to see the Loma fight now because, Top Rank has got to make that fight right away because I can't see Lopez staying at 35 much longer. He looks like he's about to be going up to 40 sooner than later.
Yeah.
So I hope they make that fight early next year so we can, see it. As far as the main event, same thing like I said earlier, Crawford, gets hurt and gets hit, and now everybody's acting like he's pretty much a soft touch, and he's, the guys in the PBC will just walk in there and get an easy win. But, it'll be interesting to see if anybody from that side of the street actually steps up to the plate and takes Top Rank's money in order to actually face Crawford, because all of them talk about wanting to face him, but none of them actually will go out and try to sign an actual contract to make the fight. So until someone actually steps up to the plate, I definitely, I'm not going to buy any of these dudes talking about, we'll fight him.
Yeah, until it actually happens.
I don't know if you guys saw, though, on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw last night, though. You guys were talking about it, about how Tim Bradley was basically being Terence Crawford's hype man about the guys on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Kevin Cunningham went on Twitter and basically started calling Bradley and Uncle Tom because he did that.
So did
and
Spence.
It was funny because
I think Spence did too. Yeah.
Yeah, because and it's like what? Like, you guys are over here talking about you're the best, but you don't want to fight the guy? Like, that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, why does that make him an Uncle Tom?
You know what I mean? Like,
that's silly. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just silly.
Just because he wants them to fight those guys, it's like, Yeah.
Because
I
you
don't
want
know,
to see a
man.
big
It's
fight? Yeah, that makes
this
you an Uncle
world we
Tom, I
live in now
guess.
is
Yeah.
Fucking stupid. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I
And
mean,
I think
yeah.
everybody would be one because everyone wants
Right?
to see a big fight. Like who doesn't want to see big fights? What
Right.
the hell? We don't sign up to see fucking Danny Garcia versus Ivan Redcat. I'm sorry, that's just not something that I'm gonna pay to watch. So if these fans are gonna act like that's a great fight, then we're all fucking in trouble at this point.
Yeah, if you guys don't want to see great
and then
fights, I don't know what you're here
uh,
for, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're in the wrong sport. And then for the I don't know if you guys got to see Virgil Ortiz's performance on Friday night. I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty impressive of him
Awesome.
taking out Brad Solomon, who you know, he's never been an easy out for anybody.
No.
And Virgil pretty much went out there and broke him down and stopped him. I thought it was a really good performance, you know, by him. I think that kid's not that far from being a legitimate contender for somebody's title. But we'll see. We'll see who he gets a shot at, because with PBC basically holding a lot of the guys in their company as far as, you know, the welterweights. I mean, I hate to say it, but Virgil, I mean, honestly, I think if Crawford doesn't get a fight against any of these PBC dudes, Virgil Ortiz might be the next best thing at some point down the line. You know, like, I think that kid's not that far away from a title shot, and Top Rank and Golden Boy have worked together before to make fights. So I don't think that'd be a bad option for Crawford if, you know, he can't get one of these guys to sign on the dotted line to see him in the ring. And then you guys are talking about the Chavez card coming up on Friday.
Yeah.
The other day on Boxing Scene, apparently Chavez hired an attorney.
Yeah, I thought. I heard
sue.
that.
Yeah, he hired an attorney to sue them in order to stop them from trying to not let him fight in Phoenix this week against Danny Jacobs. And, you know, basically their whole defense is that the guy who showed up to the wild card and, you know, said he was a VADA tester, I guess their whole defense is that the guy never identified himself as a VADA tester, and just basically said that, you know, he was sent there and Chavez was supposed to just automatically, you know, give him his urine, and Chavez was like, dude, you don't have anything on you identifying you, and I'm just supposed to
that's
hand
the
over my
dumbest argument I've ever heard. Who's going to show up at the gym collecting piss? Who's going to do that? What kind of nutty fan is going to come up here and collect pee from Chavez Jr. of all people? You know what I mean? Stop being a moron.
Yeah.
You know,
that
I mean, it's a stupid defense.
Yeah, that just makes no sense. Yeah, it really is. But unfortunately, that's what he's trying to sell to the. Yeah. So I mean, you know, it is what it is, and then this. I mean, I don't know if you guys got to see the off TV. Well, before the ESPN card last night. I was wondering what you guys think of the Puerto Rican kid, Edgar Berlanga, like the guy that just keeps knocking guys out in the first round.
I heard about that though.
Like,
I heard he's got like a big streak or something like that. Yeah, of just KOing guys in the first round.
Now. yeah.
Time to up his competition,
no one's been able
man.
to get out of the first round with him.
Let's up his competition.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him a decent fighter last night, and he basically walked through the guy. So, I mean, I don't know. They're going to have to get somebody to get in there and give this kid some rounds because, I mean, I think the kid's talented, but, yeah, beating up these guys, it's like at some point you got to get somebody in there that can actually give him a test, you know?
Right.
So, but, yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. And really quick, the Maurice Hooker, is it a TBA? Because I could have sworn he's supposed to fight this dude out of Mexico who's kind of like considered a really good prospect named Pedro Campa.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
They had originally announced that a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I thought it was TBA, but I could be wrong. I thought it was. Yeah. I mean, from what I just read.
Like 3 weeks ago, they said that they had made the deal for him to fight that guy at a catch weight at 144 pounds. So, I was kind of thinking like, oh, did he fall out of the fight or something? But
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because that guy, I've seen him fight a couple of times, and he's not bad. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what Hooker looks like at 47 for sure, even though it's a catch weight. But
Yeah, he's
Right.
a big guy.
that
He's
dude,
tall.
Kampa's not a bad fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I agree with you guys. I think Danny Jacobs is going to end up taking on Gabe Rosado. Something tells me that Chavez is going to have to back out of the fight for whatever reason or another.
Shocking.
I just think he's not going to make. Yeah, I just think he's not going to be in the ring Friday night. Something's going to happen, whether it's him not making weight or.
Beeb, what are the odds that Chavez Jr. actually makes the fight on 5 times? Do they got an odds thing for that? If that he actually makes the fight?
That he makes the fight. He's probably 15-1 that he makes it.
All right, Nacho, man. We're going to get running, man. Thanks so much for your call,
right,
man.
guys.
We appreciate it. You know, yeah, I mean, what is that? I mean, the fact that you have to have another dude lined up in case your main guy doesn't come through.
That's embarrassing.
Come on, man.
That's embarrassing.
Are we for real here?
That's embarrassing.
And so his whole defense is this guy came and tried to collect my pee, and he didn't present any valid. First of all, he did. Otherwise, he's going to look like a creep, right? I mean, if you work for VADA, if you work for WADA or VADA or whatever, where you got to go, that's your gig. This is your job. You're a professional pee collector. You got to go there and you got to get some urine. All right.
There's no way.
Don't you have some ID on you?
Yeah,
just
there's
you
no
know what I
way
mean?
there's
Just
no
so
way
people
he
don't
had
think
no
you're a
ID.
creep.
There's no way he had no ID on him. That's ridiculous. I'm not believing that.
Right.
That's
right.
stupid. That's fucking stupid. Come on.
Why? I mean, where else does this happen in your life? I mean, does this happen to anyone? I mean, were you ever sitting there randomly at your office and somebody says, "Hey, I need a sample"? No. All right. And if they did, I'd say, well, yeah, who are you? And, oh yeah, you're with, okay, I gotcha. This happens. This isn't like a regular average Joe. You're supposed to get tested.
Ding dong,
You're
ding
supposed to
dong.
get tested. You're supposed to get tested.
Imagine
I don't
that
get it.
You sit at your house watching television one night. Ding dong, ding dong. Yes, sir. Can I help you? Hi, Mr. Beeb. I'm here to take a piss sample. Like, who just randomly does that?
Why not? And it's not unheard of. I heard those guys show up at like 6 a.m. I mean, they'll show up at like 6 a.m. and you got to like produce, you talk about performance anxiety, man. You got to go, you're like, man, I don't know. I just went, or they'll sit there too, drink some water. And I mean, it's like waiting, boy. They just sit there and wait. That's got to be uncomfortable, man.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to get tested, and you know the deal. You know the deal. You're a fighter.
Just drink a glass of ice water. You'll be able to do it.
Drink a glass of ice water. Just go in the bathroom and let the water run for a little bit, It's the pressure.
This chat's hilarious.
I know, yeah. Did you see the JC's comment? All right. So the big news this weekend, there's a couple big stories that just came in on the wire here. Mikey Garcia signs with Eddie Hearn. He's reportedly signed a 1-fight deal with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. A 1-fight deal. This is according to Coppinger, I believe. I mean, it's Coppinger and then Mannix. Now, Chris Mannix kind of broke it down a little bit further and said that what they're hoping to do, he's going to fight Jesse. They want him to fight Jesse Vargas, I believe February 29th.
It's a good fight.
It's a good fight. I mean, Vargas is a big guy.
Yeah.
They want him to fight Jesse Vargas. All right. And I don't know how, I didn't get the, whatchamacallit. I didn't get the price as far as like what he's getting paid or whatever. I don't know. But it's a 1-fight deal. So the thing is, they're going to do the Vargas fight on February 29th. The hope is that they get Pacquiao sometime in the summer. They get a Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia fight.
Where's that fight going to? It's not going to be on DAZN.
Yeah, they're hoping, because I think Pacquiao, I believe, has got one more fight on the PBC left.
And he's going to go to DAZN?
And then he might go to design. For the money? Crazy? Yeah, he'll go there for the money.
Well, we'll see how much they pay him.
Pacquiao's broke, man. He's giving his money out. I mean, he's giving his money out to everybody, man. He's not going to turn down a big payday. You know what I mean?
Look at Jason. Oh, Mikey's going back to the PBC.
Mikey will go, oh, he's heartbroken now. Jason's heartbroken, man.
You're a little bit disappointed because somebody left the PBC.
Let's bring him on here.
Aww.
Jason, 706, you're live.
Hi, Jason. Hi, Jason.
I'm fucking heated. Shut up, dude. Shut up. I'm heated. Shut the fuck up and let me speak, man. Read yourself, for real. Shut the fuck up and let me speak.
Wow, he's
Jesus
heated.
Christ. You guys have been talking a lot of nonsense today. Just give me my floor and just back off for a little bit, all right? You guys have been talking like both sides out of your fucking mouth, for real. All right, let me start off with Nacho.
I love Jason's calls.
Eric, give me a few minutes, dude. Come on, calm down. Let me start off with Nacho. This guy calls in. He's like, this guy's like, so PBC guys, they're not gonna take Top Rank's money and go fight Crawford. So he wants the unified 147 champion to leave his promoter and his broadcaster to go fight a guy whose pay-per-view just flopped so fucking bad that ESPN kicked us off pay-per-view. And they're putting him on free ESPN now. He wants him to leave his broadcaster and go there. When does a fucking unified champ goes over there to fight a fucking guy that can't sell pay-per-view? First of all, that makes no sense.
Well, nobody said he has to leave Top Rank to do it.
Right there.
Nobody says he has to come over to Top Rank.
No, PBC. That's what he said. I know you didn't say that. He said, are they going to take Top Rank's money? And second of all, when they offered Danny Garcia money to fight, they offered him $3 million. And then they turned around and offered the guy Danny knocked out $5 million. So why would Danny take less money than Amir Khan? No wonder that pay-per-view flopped. If he would have fought Danny, that pay-per-view would have sold more because Danny has more fans in America than Amir Khan, obviously. That guy fucking sells like 12,000, 13,000 tickets at Barclays. Crawford, last night, Crawford sold like 9,000 tickets, and 4,000 of those were comps. So, he needs PBC guys. PBC guys don't need him. That's what people like Nacho don't really bring up. PBC guys can go 2-3 years without even bringing up Crawford. Every Crawford fight week, all he talks about is PBC. All week, AM is talking about PBC and Spence. Oh, I heard Spence is not coming back for a long time. And then they're bashing Spence for not fighting Crawford. So which one is it? Is Spence injured and gone for a long time, or he's ducking Crawford? So these guys, everybody's talking out of both sides of their mouth. I mean, what the fuck?
Don't you want to see him fight one of the PBC guys, though?
Spence, yeah, I'd love to see Porter, but if they're going to lowball him and then blame Heyman for not sending him, I'm not going to bash Heyman and be like, oh, it's Heyman's fault. If you're not going to offer him,
what do you care whose fault it is?
That fucking bum Amir Khan.
Well, what do you care whose fault it is or how much anybody gets paid as long as you see the fight?
Yeah, but I'm not going to blame Porter for not going if they're lowballing. Why would I? Porter's fighting way better competition. Porter fought Danny, Ugas, Spence back to back to back. Has fucking Crawford ever done that in his fucking life, dude? Tell me that.
Danny's fighting Ivan Redkach next.
Has a schedule like that. Danny, Ugas.
Wouldn't he get more money for fighting Crawford next?
Yeah, but are they going to offer him $5 million like they did Amir or no?
I don't know.
Because they said they won't.
I'm not in the contract negotiations.
Todd DeBuff came out.
I was talking to Bob yesterday. He said he'd be more than willing to do that. I was eating lunch with Bob Arum yesterday. He said he would do it.
We're not offering him $5 million. Fuck out of here, dude. That's what and fucking Eric's like, Manny's broke. Come on, man. You got to be more professional than that. You can't say shit like that.
Who said Manny was broke?
I did. I said Manny's broke. He needs some money.
Eric just said that 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. So what?
And then also,
he loves Manny now. Manny's PBC, so he defends
Manny's PBC. He didn't care. You know Jason's first call? Jason's first call here, what triggered him is when I said Floyd Mayweather. It was the Floyd Mayweather IRS story where the IRS was coming after him. I said Floyd's broke because he couldn't pay the IRS, which was true. He couldn't pay the IRS. He had to get a fight. He had to get a fight. So he's still triggered about it.
No, it wasn't.
And he called. He was so triggered about it. He called up and was just like, blah, I mean, it was insane. It triggered him. But now Manny's with the PBC, and now you're riding him like Seabiscuit. Come on, son.
Dude, Trump has like $600 million worth of deferred taxes to the IRS that he keeps postponing. That he says, I'm going to pay you when I have the cash. If a fucking fighter has some fucking $20 million debt, doesn't mean he's broke. It just means he's deferring it to next year when he gets another $100 million.
If somebody has $20 million debt, son, you are broke. Yes, you're broke.
No, you're not.
If you have $20 million in debt and you can't pay the debt, you are broke. It's finance 101.
He can pay it. He just doesn't want to sell his property. He just doesn't want to sell his mansion to pay for it. He's rather wait
Because
for
you're
the
broke.
cash. I mean, that's just
Because
smart.
you're broke.
I mean, but
If
you
you
have a
cannot,
small mind,
if you're
so
in
don't
debt
get
and you
that,
cannot pay off your
Also,
debts, you are
let me say
broke.
this. Let me say this. Let me finish, dude. Come on. You said nobody wants to see Danny and Spence fight. That may be true.
Not what I said. Not what I said.
Ohio, but
Nobody
all
nobody
over the
wants to see
country-
Danny and
Yes,
Red
you
Cack
said,
fight.
You said nobody wants to see Spence versus Danny.
No, that's not what I
don't
said.
care about that, but it's on free TV. But I'm going to throw, and that fight will get like 2 million views. That's on free TV, dude. They're promoting it during NFL games. So, that's what Fox is doing. And who did Crawford fight last night? The guy that lost to Ray Robinson? Beeb, did you watch Ray Robinson?
Didn't they
versus
tie?
Egidijus,
Wasn't that a draw?
It was a draw. It was a draw. It was a draw.
Yeah. He didn't lose.
And Ray Robinson is a fucking journeyman. That guy's having draws with journeyman and fucking taking Crawford life and fucking smashing his face in for like 7 rounds. I've never seen Spence get hurt like that by some fucking C-class fighter like Egidijus, dude. Come on. That was bullshit. And you guys are like saying, oh, it was a great fight. Spence versus Porter was a great fight. Last night, all Crawford did was fight down to his competition. That's it. He wanted to make it look like he was an exciting fight because he has nobody to fight. And now, what are we going to talk about for the next 6 months? Oh, is Spence going to fucking fight Crawford? How about we just talk about what Crawford's got going on and if he's sending Porter a real fucking offer? All you have to do is send Porter a $5 million offer, and Porter said, we'll do it. You just can't be fucking talking shit in the media, then sending me lowball offers like a little fucking bitch, and then hiding behind Bob like you do your whole career. That's what's not going to happen, I mean, that's just not going to happen. Also, Eric, you were saying, yeah, dude, that's the Danny versus Spence. That's the big pay-per-view. Don't get it twisted. That's going to sell like way more than fucking Crawford versus Porter. Crawford versus Porter might sell like 200K.
Yeah,
Spence versus Danny sell like 300K, so that's 100K more.
And if Porter, let me ask you, Beeb, if Porter and Crawford did fight, don't you think that would be on like Fox pay-per-view?
Could be, yeah.
Versus ESPN?
No. ESPN.
Fox is bigger. Fox is bigger
Fox
than
is much
ESPN.
bigger, yeah.
Porter's a stepson. We'll send him.
We'll send them.
Yeah, but
We'll
Crawford's
send
the
them.
clear A side, so
right.
but
We'll
Crawford's
send them.
the clear A
Well,
side
he
in that
works there.
equation, just like
Oh yeah.
Beeb.
Hey,
He
what do
washes
they-
Heyman's
yeah,
car.
What are they serving? What are they serving tomorrow at the BBC cafeteria? What do we have for lunch tomorrow at the BBC
I don't know,
cafeteria?
man.
Salisbury steak or what?
We're serving that stuff gourmet turkey leg. That's what we're serving. That's that BBC tradition. Like stuffed gourmet turkey leg. But what's Crawford's next opponent, Beeb? If it's not Porter or Spence, what do you think?
We don't know.
Any ideas?
I don't have any ideas.
Who's Crawford gonna fight if it's not Porter or Spence?
I don't know.
Well, that's a tough
Yeah.
one.
That is a tough one.
That's a tough. What about if
Right.
it's what about Ramirez? What are the chances of Ramirez moving up to 147 to fight Crawford?
He will once he fights Josh Taylor. He will once he fights Josh Taylor. I know Josh Taylor Ramirez is a good fight, man.
Because they were talking about that yesterday.
Rod Salka. Hey, Jason, you know that Tank's got a fight coming up in a
Yeah.
couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's in my town, bro. I'll be there.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's in Atlanta, right? You going?
You're not. Dude, look at the tickets. Look at the seat map. That fight's 2 weeks away.
Where are you
that
sitting?
fight was already selling more than Crawford's fight last night.
Where are you sitting at?
Dude, I'm always sitting front row with that. Front row with LRB, bro. Like right behind them.
Front
like
row
two
on
rows
level
back
300?
behind LRB. Like three rows behind front row. Tickets are like $300.
Nice, man. So you've been tweeting Tank, wishing him
You
good
need
luck
some
and
footage?
stuff, and rubbing his shoulders and stuff like
Are
that?
you gonna be able to go in the locker room after the fight?
No, pre-fight.
Maybe you could rub Tank's legs down and stuff.
Pre-fight.
You know, rub Tank's legs down.
I'll roll in pre-fight like the celebs do, like the celebs, the pre-fight roll up.
You gonna give Tank a nice rub down?
Tank, you want a nice water, Tank? Tank.
Can I get you anything to eat before the
I need
fight,
that point autograph.
Tank?
Want me to run to Publix for you? Get you a nice sub.
Publix.
Make sure Tank's not munching on some mac and cheese back there.
Tank.
Oh God.
Tank better stay in shape, dude.
Tank, you got the
Beeb,
munchies. I'll go get you
Crawford's best
something to
opponent, right?
eat.
Hey, listen. Hey, guys, that's Crawford's best opponent, right? If we're being honest, till to this date.
Who?
Gamboa.
I don't know.
Gamboa is Crawford's best opponent until today, right?
I think Victor
If we're
Polster
being
was.
honest.
Jason's in a Ravens jersey massaging
Huh?
Tank.
Postal?
Maybe
I don't
Polster.
know. I think Postal's only good win was I watched up Lucas. You know, Lucas just gave up. I never saw anything much more from Postal besides what he beat Amir Imam or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Doesn't he? Yeah. Did you see Top Rank's first? Dude, did you see Top Rank's first quarter schedule? It's Jesse Hart, Joe Smith, Jose Ramirez.
That's not a bad fight. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. That fight's not a bad fight. That Jesse Hart, Joe Smith fight's not a bad fight.
That's some real star power.
I'll watch it.
Jason, did you hear Bob Arum? Jason, did you hear Bob Arum admitting that he can't sell tickets?
Yeah. Did you hear about this?
Yeah. Look at Tank. He sold 15,000 in Baltimore, 8,000 in LA. He's about to sell 10,000 in Atlanta. So somebody's selling tickets. It's just not that fucking loser Bob Arum.
UFC did 17,000 last night. UFC did 17,000 attendance last night. How crazy is that?
Spence reported it too. Spence reported it 17K.
UFC does this on a regular basis, though, son.
Spence reported it 17K.
They do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, but UFC is a $4 billion company. PBC is just building. PBC is like a 5-year-old company.
Boxing, son. We're talking about boxing.
So you got to give them
boxing. Everybody.
Yeah.
This includes everybody.
Spence listen. Tank sold 15K in Baltimore. Spence sold 16K in LA. Wilder sold like 8,000 or 9,000 in MGM, which was like a $4 million gate, which is pretty damn good. $4 million gate, dude. Manny versus Thurman had a $6 million gate, so Wilder versus Ortiz only did $2 million less. So that's not bad. That's not.
Doesn't matter.
Fury versus Wallen had a $900,000 gate.
Hey,
so,
why don't
just to put it in perspective.
Do me a favor, man. Why don't you go rub down Tank, all right? Why don't you go rub down Tank's shoulders, all right? How about that?
Did you see Clarissa Shields at the UFC fight yesterday? He was there.
Tank,
Clarissa was there.
Tank, are you cold? Tank, are you cold? We're gonna wrap a towel around your shoulders.
This fucking joke is getting too old.
Tank. Hey, dude, tell me if this sounds like a phony hang-up. All right, man. All right. Georgie, 508. You're live.
Hey, what's happening, people?
Hey, Georgie.
Listen, put the kids away.
Hey.
Put the kids away, because I'm going fucking in, bro. I'm going in.
Let's get it.
This shit not even boxing.
Former caller of the year.
This shit not even boxing related. The Miami Police Department shooting the UPS fucking truck. Nigga, suck my dick. Let's start with that. Oh, fuck, bro. They seen that shit. Wild West. Shit is crazy.
What happened, Georgie?
The fuck this nigga throwing all these shots. You seen that shit? You guys seen that shit?
I heard about it. Like the police or whatever, they shot up some kind of FBI truck, or they shot up a UPS truck or something like that.
Why?
I don't know.
Where did this happen?
I don't know. I'm following boxing, man. I don't know.
Yo, they didn't even bro fucking negotiate or no sniper. They got like fucking 30 cops just shooting at everybody, bro. On the highway. How the fuck no fucking heck no running because of that shit, man? That shit is outrageous. Right, let me go back to boxing. Yo, how long fucking Crawford gonna be bomb hunting? How long?
It was just mandatory.
Man, just surrender the fucking title, B. That's mandatory. Why do you even want to have that belt? See, that's the opposition what they got.
Good question.
What the fuck that belt mean?
That's a good question.
What was the question?
This is the problem.
So if that's just mandatory, then why would he even want that belt?
It's a mandatory. Yeah, man.
It's a good question.
Baby, we gotta pass about all this belt shit. All these belt situations. Let us sing this shit in. The WBA got how many fucking straps? Like 37?
Like 7.
7 my ass. This nigga got like 37 belts. And then you count all the fucking so-called fucking bodies and shit. Who the fuck is the champion of the world? Who? On what division? And we're gonna, man, this is bullshit. We're gonna say, okay, he was fighting the mandatory. And that gives us a pass. So the next time they put another piece of shit there, he's fighting the mandatory again. Dude, by the time we get the real fight, this nigga's gonna be like 50 years old. If they ever fight. If it ever happens. And when we got the same fucking status quo. Oh, but he's fighting the mandatory. And that don't mean shit. That's not what we want to see. How come people watching this shit? I didn't even watch it. As a matter of fact, that shit was on YouTube like half an hour later. All these ads and canceling the show, ESPN, all this shit. I don't give a fuck. Whenever the fuck they fight somebody with a pulse, let me know. How could you be? Listen, boxing gotta die. He has to die, has to be reborn again like the Phoenix by the fucking fans.
Did you watch the fight?
Let it die. Kill it all.
Did you watch the fight?
I've seen it for free on YouTube.
It was on ESPN.
I sound like fucking. I know, but they had it on YouTube like half an hour later. Half an hour later, shit already there.
He doesn't have cable. He doesn't have cable, Eric.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, so you watched it. You weren't entertained by the fight?
I'm nothing. I don't want to eat a fucking egg, Eric. No, damn. Enough of it. You can't be doing this shit no more. We're coming here every fucking weekend. Same bullshit. Nothing changed. Same narrative. I mean, when enough is enough. This nigga's bum hunting. They got DSG's another bum hunter. Dude, we got fucking 5 fights the whole year that we're watching. It's a miracle. Because the rest is garbage. Shit that nobody watch. Shit that nobody buys. How these people make their money, bro? It's to a point, nigga, that you got to make this decision on your mind. These motherfuckers, they're not even about making money. It's just about selling the dream. This shit got to be CIA, FBI, fucking some type of bullshit, nigga. This cannot be how this shit works. It makes no sense. Why are they fighting bullshit fights that make no money? For years. Fucking nobody showing up. Fucking Fury, the same bullshit. Nobody showing up to his shit. But here we are. I'm sick of it, bro. I gotta take a vacation. I'm gonna see you guys next year to follow the channel, and I'm out.
Georgie. They got the lockdown at Rikers about 9 o'clock, so he's got to jump off of here. Yeah. Beeb, what any takes on that call? I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna say? I don't know what to tell him.
This is the way it is. You can't fight City Hall, kid. I mean, what do you want me to say?
All right. So this next story here. Tyson Fury has split from trainer Ben Davidson. He posted a picture on his Instagram that seemed to indicate that Javon Sugar Hill will be his trainer.
Oh wow!
The post had a picture of Fury, Emmanuel Stewart, and Sugar Hill with the caption "Getting the old team back up and running." And since then, I have heard that Sugar Hill will be his coach. So
wow,
yeah. What do you think?
I'm surprised. I thought Freddie Roach was going to step in.
I did too. I was surprised that Freddie Roach was not named the coach. And Centurion said Ben is too green. Ben Davidson, speaking of. You know what? I never did like Ben Davidson as the coach. I really didn't. I mean, they seemed to work well, but he did seem a little bit too young to step in that role. You know, Sugar Hill is good. Anybody on that Kronk side is going to be good. You know, they know how to deal with tall fighters who can box. Look at Tommy Hearns, Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Beeb?
At first I said to myself, you know, Tyson Fury is a very erratic dude. Like, he's constantly making changes, but I can't argue the fact that I think that Sugar Hill is probably a better trainer than Ben Davidson. So,
well, I think he's a better trainer for Fury.
Yeah. So, you know, and the fight's in February. So where are we at now? In December, they got 2 months to gel. I mean, it's one camp, whatever. I'm not really hating the move, to be honest with you. At first I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. It's erratic. I thought, what did Ben Davidson do to deserve to be fired or whatever? But I don't know if it was a mutual split. I don't know how the whole thing went down. Ben Davidson said he's still friends with Tyson Fury, so it was like an amicable split. So I think this is, in the long run, will end up being a better move for Tyson Fury. I just don't like the fact that you have to keep changing trainers, and you gotta develop, a consistency and a comfort level with one guy and just stick with them instead of having to constantly have to adapt to a new trainer in the corner, because that's not good either. So
yeah,
but let's hope this works out.
Cozy Rito says, what do you think that Sugar Hill can add to Fury's game? Well, I mean, with the Kronk. With those Kronk fighters, they like tall fighters. They like fighters that can box, and they'll use their jab. So what he's going to do, he's going to get that jab working. He's going to tighten up his defense. He's going to tighten up his skills. I think that you're going to see a lot of jabs come February. I think you're going to see right hands, and not necessarily a safety first thing, but they're going to work on that right hand. They're going to work on that Wilder right hand and how to neutralize it. Yeah. And I think that Sugar Hill will be able to do that. I think anybody from that Kronk stable would be able to do that.
Don't be surprised if you see a lot of counterpunching in the next fight by Tyson Fury.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. They're like I said, man, they're just one of those. It's just one of those things where I think that is a good fit for him. I mean, I thought it was going to be Roach, and I was kind of iffy on that, but I really think that this is not a bad fit. This is a good fit, I think. I think it is anyway. We'll see. I guess we'll know more in February. See how it shakes out. Beeb, our train wreck of the week this week, an old friend, Titletown's own Adrian Broner, back in the train wreck of the week. We nicknamed this the Adrian Broner train wreck of the week back when it first started, and he has been in the train wreck of the week more than anybody. He's been in there 3 straight times at one point, 3 straight weeks.
He hasn't let us down yet.
He hasn't. He is quite possibly the greatest when it comes to this category.
He really is.
He is. Professional boxer and Cincinnati native Adrian Broner has been connected to drug and money laundering investigations, according to the federal court documents filed this week. That allegation is mentioned in the forfeiture case surrounding 29-year-old Giovanni Crawford, who, according to the documents, was suspected of drug trafficking in 2016. Crawford and Broner were known to be associated with narcotics and money laundering investigations, the documents say. So nothing real. Well, I mean, this is pretty big. Yeah, I can't even lie about it. This is big time. When you got, federal court documents. Oh, man. This ain't good. Put it that way. This ain't good.
You see what Jason's saying in the chat? He said Adrian didn't do it.
Okay, that's fine.
He's defending it. He's defending Broner.
He's such a douche.
Because Broner's from PBC.
Broner's a PBC guy. I defend Broner too. He's from Cincinnati. He's my guy, man. I like him.
I never defend
Super
Broner.
Nice guy.
Look at Jason's calling me right now.
Read the full article. Yeah, read the full article, stupid.
Look at Jason's calling me. He's trying to get on the air.
Stop, Jason. Just let him go.
Stop, Jason.
Stop it. You troll. This is maybe why you're former caller of the year. It may be it for you, son. I don't know.
He's so funny.
Salty. Listen, whether Broner did it or not, he's still associated with, the wrong people. Let's put it that way. I hope he gets out of it. And I hope he fights again, man. Maybe.
The fact that his name is even attached to this is not a good look, Jason.
Well, let me ask you this, Beeb.
How come my name's not attached to a drug ring?
I was just about to ask you this. Now, you just had a birthday last week. I know you're over 30. We'll put it that way.
I'm 50.
You're 50. Okay. You're 50 years old. Beeb, has your name ever been involved in a federal drug case and money laundering case?
No, never.
My name has never been brought up in a money laundering or federal case. Huh. It's weird how that happens. He just randomly picked his name out of a hat.
Yeah. And just threw it in the article because he did nothing.
Must be. Come on, man. Wake up. Get your hat out of the toilet.
Please, Jason.
Come on.
Making me nervous. Making me nervous now.
Get it together over there. It's Atlanta. It's Georgia. They get the news later than everybody else. What are you going to
do? Jason's so stupid.
Eric, you're broke. Okay. All right, man.
What does that have? I don't think well, I'm not going to say anything, but go ahead.
What? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you're not broke. You just after what you told me you did. I mean, I'm not going to put your personal business out there, but you're not broke. If you were broke, you wouldn't be able to do what you just did.
There you go. There you go.
And that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
There you go. All right. So let's see here. Devin Haney is now the champion in recess. We're going to find fascinating about that. He's a champion in recess. The WBC has named Devin Haney the champion in recess, and he didn't actually win the belt. Let's figure this one out. All right. Devin Haney had shoulder surgery. He'll be out for 6 months, and I love Devin Haney. But the WBC has named him champion in recess. Devin Haney didn't actually win a belt. He was given the belt only after Lomachenko was deemed franchise champion by the WBC. He didn't actually win it. They just gave it to him. They say, here, hey, you're number one. Hey, here you go. Our guy, the real champion, he's above everybody now. But so here's your belt. What? And then turn around and name him champion in recess. What?
When they say he's like when they say he's in recess, like what's he doing? Playing dodgeball or something?
Right. He's outside jumping a rope. He's jumping a rope. You know what I mean?
Playing hopscotch outside or something. They're playing ring around the rosy and shit.
Right.
Playing manhunt.
It's insane. You know, I'm like, really? Yeah. What are you doing? We're champion in recess. What was Mikey Garcia? What did they name Mikey Garcia? He wasn't champion in recess. Or
emeritus or something?
Emeritus champion. Yeah, champion emeritus. I'm going to go get a WBC belt. You know what I mean? Because why not? Everybody else has got them, you know? And they're going to name us something. I don't know. They're
buy one off eBay.
It's insane. I mean, it's just insane. As we mentioned earlier, Danny Garcia will be fighting Ivan Redkach in January. Who cares? And then this is interesting too, man. I actually found this kind of surprising. Nonito Donaire becomes the mandatory for Nordine Ubali.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I like the fight. I think the fight is a good fight. I think it's a real good fight.
Donaire can win it.
Donaire, yeah, it's a winnable fight. I like Ubali in this, man, because I think Ubali's the real deal. Yeah. I think he can fight, man.
I love the fact that Donaire is still in the mix right now.
I do too.
That's so awesome for him. I'm happy for him.
Wouldn't you rather see an Inoue and Ubali fight?
Makes more sense.
Makes more sense, right? The unification?
Yeah.
Makes a lot more sense.
It's hard to get these titles unified. You know that.
Yeah, it really is.
In today's day and age.
Yeah, it really is, man. I'll tell you what. So yeah, man, hey, you know, either him and Inoue or him and Donaire, Ubali and Inoue.
I'm surprised like people aren't banging down the door to fight Inoue now after seeing that Donaire fight.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. That was a good fight. That was really a real good fight. Right? And I tell you, like I said, man, I didn't have Donaire getting out of that first round. No. I had him getting beat every step of the way. And, you know, and hey, I couldn't have been more wrong. But that's why I like those tournaments.
I'm shocked that fight was so competitive.
I am too. How great was it to wake up on a Thursday and watch that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I was watching that fight at work.
Yeah. Yeah, it was insane, man.
How sick was that?
It's crazy. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at JHabib1 and find our YouTube channel at www.ringsidereporterlive.com. Let's not give the full web address now. I'm at Ringside73 on Twitter, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.